For International Women's Day, the woman that inspires me the most.
I would say the woman that inspires me the most.
A woman who inspires me.
A woman who inspires me would have to be my stepmom, Sylvie. I think I've known her for about like 8 years now, but I feel like I've kind of known her my whole life, and she's somebody who's always been kind and non-judgmental. She reminds me of Tan, and when Tan and Sylvie met, they got along really well, and it's because they're both very similar. She's somebody who's always positive, no matter what the situation is, no matter how stressful. She always comes in with her head held high, and she has really good perspective on life.
I would say the woman that inspires me the most is my mom, just because she's superhuman and not only raised me, but is now helping raise our daughter. And yeah, I just aspire to be a mom like her.
But most importantly, whenever I go to Montreal, she always greets me with a maple sugar pie. And by one, I mean two, because she knows that I'll usually eat one the first night that I'm there, and then the second one she likes me to have, because she knows that I love pie for breakfast.
I try really hard to get inspired by everyone around me. So whether it's a business associate, another mom, my daughter, I think there's so much to learn when you support other women that I find inspiration from so many people I meet every day.
And she buys me oat milk, which she thinks is completely ridiculous because she likes to support dairy farmers, but I do love my oat milk. And she goes and she schleps to the other end of the city to make sure that I have oat milk every time I visit her.
A woman in my life outside of my sisters and my mother that inspire me a lot right now is Gayle King. I am literally enamored with, I watch CBS Morning News every morning because of her. I just think she is so dynamic and so poised, and I think it's such a clear example of how to be a friend and a leader and your own person. And I just look at her and I'm just like a couple times this week I've said to myself, like, what would Gayle do? Just like, what would Jesus do? Because I just think she's extraordinary.
For International Women's Day, the woman that inspires me the most is, I have to say, is my wife. Not just because she's sitting to the right of me and she's gonna hit me, but watching you go through the IVF process and watching you give birth, oh man. And now we have the baby. True fighter.
And also that R. Kelly moment when she stayed calm, when everybody else, when she was like, Robert, sit down. Every time my children do something, I'm like, Robert, and my kids are like, why do you keep calling us Robert, Dad? And I'm like, don't worry, you'll understand one day.
And she makes me feel like a little kid, but also a grown-up.
My mom, because she is so selfless and she has given her entire life to raising us and now raising Zena with me, and she's brilliant in every way and she inspires me the most.
And she also wants me to be fiscally responsible, which I appreciate as well, which we should all be.
A woman who inspires me 100% the most is my mother. Sweetest girl on earth, and there's a lot to be learned from the way she handles situations and people, and my dad. She puts up with a lot. She puts up with me, and she's so strong and a hard worker, and she's goals. So my mom, love you, Mom.
I love Sylvie.